My biggest milestone was my Capstone project. Before we even started this program, and part of the reason why I entered this program is because I had this wonderful idea of this interactive virtual reality experience where you can practice some mental health exercises. I did not have the skill set to do it, but after completing this program, I was able to create it for my Capstone project. It's of course in its infancy, so it's conceptual at this stage, but I'm hoping to finish fleshing it out into a real project.
My Capstone project was a data expression project, so it was more along the storytelling lines using art and installation. It was a 4-part installation that basically told the story of how the universe learned to tell stories. So it started with gravitational waves onto forest floor networks, onto bee communication, and then human folktale motifs, right? And so that was great because I got to show it in the Creative Computation Showcase at the end of the year, and I'd never done anything like that before. So for the first time in my life, felt like a fine artist for a few minutes. I bit off a lot, and I don't think I would have ever had the confidence to even try it before, honestly. There was a lot involved with the project, from simple woodworking to wiring, coding, obviously. I used laser cutter. I even did some welding involved in it. So the construction itself was a big lift, and then that doesn't even get to the coding part. And yeah, so most of it needed to be coded with a microcontroller. It was all very beautiful in the end. I was terrified the entire way through and learning as I went in terms of crunching this data, finding the data sets, having to code just to get subsets that I could use. So I started the program being so upset about the coding, and then by the end, my project turned out to be pretty much all coding, aside from the construction.
The Capstone project that I'm doing is documented a bunch of old couches that were discarded, and I started thinking about nostalgia and history and memory, and how when I was a kid, so I started implementing a lot of abstraction with cartoon stuff on top of these couches to kind of play with kind of the nostalgia that I have. And so I've got all these multiple images of all these couches, and also I have these animations that are being projected onto these couches that kind of play with the abstraction that's on it. And so it's also it's interactive when you move across it, and getting just really the biggest challenge is really getting all the code and everything to work. So to be able to activate whenever I'm moving or a viewer is moving around, to be able to activate the animations, to have something a lot more just really kind of immersive and fun to play with, and having the sounds work, and I really just getting everything to work. That was the biggest challenge, but so far so good, and I'm excited to see what I could do with that too later.
For my final Capstone project, I combined my passion for dance with my interest in technology, and so I worked with a program called Touch Designer, which we'd covered in a couple courses before, but I was able to kind of go more in depth in the areas that I was interested in to learn more about a program. And I was working with ways that we could use either a Kinect sensor to track real-time motion and apply filters and graphic manipulation over that with movement and dance, and then also the ability to take a pre-existing video and add filters over that as well. Yeah, so for the Capstone project, I definitely had because it was a lot of self-directed learning, it was a lot more involved in terms of finding different tutorials or courses, like separate coursework for me to learn how to use the program. But that was a really great experience to also still have the support of both my cohort and the professor to help me kind of find what resources that would be the most helpful for me. Being able to work on this project with individually, but having group feedback was really helpful, because there would be certain points where maybe I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with the project, and then being able to show it to my cohort and have feedback was really helpful. Everybody has a different perspective and an idea, and that really helped direct and aid me in my journey with the project.